David and Goliath. Netflix versus Blockbuster.
Wow.
The Miracle on Ice, since the Winter Olympics are going on as we're recording this.
Yes.
History's filled with stories of the little guys and gals taking on a seemingly unstoppable giant and winning despite all odds.
Yes, yes.
In our world, we know that many VARs are focused on local or regional businesses themselves.
True.
And they might find themselves competing with online tech dealers, 800 number sellers, big giant conglomerates, or the people that just go and shop something on a random website and have no idea what they're getting.
Right.
That may seem like it's insurmountable with, plenty of money to throw at resources, marketing people, but often the little guy can do things that the big guys can't.
Yeah, right.
That's our topic today. And we have a returning guest, Elie Katz from National Retail Solutions.
He's awesome. Yes.
To explain. His company kind of specializes in the idea of working with local small businesses and meeting their needs and challenges.
Well, when you talk convenience stores and you talk bodegas and stuff like that,
exactly. The little guys have different needs.
These are the independent people, right?
Exactly. They're there for their community. They're there to help.
Yeah.
So what does SMB retail think about the AI conversation? Are they actually in tune with that right now? Do they care about AI solutions?
Right.
What are some simple challenges and hurdles that the big providers forget to address or maybe just flat out ignore when they're just doing the plug and play, drop a product in kind of thing? What retail segments present low-hanging fruit? And also, what are the 4 most important buzzwords that you need to have apparently on your booth? You'll be surprised. There's a couple of them I was not expecting. One of them I think you can easily guess at, but the others,
not so much.
A little more surprising than I would have thought. But Ellie's got the scoop for us.
That's right.
So we're putting rocks in our slings. We're disrupting the status quo. We're punching our cocky competition in the mouth. I'm John Martin.
No, I'm Dean Reverman.
Welcome to BlueStar Nation. The BlueStar Nation podcast is brought to you by Elo. Hang on, let me get my movie voice.
Oh, you need the
In a world where technology evolves rapidly, your customer's legacy POS infrastructure may be silently holding their business back. Help them future-proof with Elo's flexible, open platform.
That was really good.
Yeah,
really good. I'm so
intrigued.
intrigued.
You to watch the film about Elo versus Legacy?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Well, there you go. Well, let me give you some more. Elo's enterprise-grade hardware platform provides the modern foundation that retailers need, delivering standardized architecture with an open compatibility across today's leading software solutions and tomorrow's innovations. I like that idea. You're thinking ahead, too. You know?
Yep.
It's not just about addressing today. You got to address tomorrow, too.
Tomorrow, baby.
Elo's modular approach seamlessly integrates emerging technologies while maintaining enterprise-wide consistency, eliminating the proprietary constraints that have historically locked retailers into outdated ecosystems. By transitioning customers to Elo's flexible platform, you're not just upgrading their hardware, you are future-proofing their entire technology strategy with a solution designed to evolve alongside consumer expectations and market demands. So why choose Elo? Well, they're a software agnostic platform. So, hey, folks like NRS that we've been hearing about today, they would be happy to incorporate that into their hardware using on their platforms.
Yep.
Enterprise-grade support, commercial-grade durability, and an extensive partner ecosystem, all built around Elo's lineup of flexible, scalable hardware, peripherals, payment devices, and modularity for any business need. To learn more, check out the link in the show notes or contact the BlueStar Elo team. All right, our returning guest today is Elie Katz, the founder, president, and CEO of National Retail Solutions, or NRS.
Yes.
So, Elie, it hasn't been that long since you were on. You were back like late last summer, I think. But tell us a little bit about what's been happening in your world since then, and more importantly, because you were very important, noticed this when you got on here. You got a new lighting setup there. You have a little more light in your space. You're even more podcast ready than before. So, what's happening in your world?
It went. Some of my company colleagues found out that I'm going to be on the BlueStar Boys podcast, and they got excited. They're like, "Elie, listen, this is big time now. Like before, like some of these other podcasts, you can do without the lighting. Maybe they don't want to see it, but now, like this is, everyone knows that the BlueStar Boys is like heard in millions of homes around the world, right? So I said, okay, get me whatever. Go on Amazon and get me the fanciest lights." So I can barely see because I'm blinded. But with that said, you get to see the complexion and how beautiful the skin is because of the wonderful soap I use in the morning. And I'm ready for prime time, baby.
Yep, looks good.
Nice.
Looking good.
Yeah, I think the only way we get it at millions of households is maybe if we somehow like hijack, Alexa or something, and just broadcast this everywhere
on this show right now and go viral, right?
There you go. That's it.
Well, maybe it'll be because people want to get your beauty tips.
Right,
Yeah, they want the skincare regimen. We could do one of those. Get ready with me for the BlueStar Nation podcast kind of thing. So.
Good stuff.
All right, well, Elie, let's get into it. Let's talk about the world of retail POS, and more importantly, we decided to kind of frame this conversation around kind of tackling the big guys out there, because there's a lot of there's a lot of those like 800 number type companies, as Jim Roddy always refers to with the RSPA, and like the online retail, the online POS sellers and stuff like that. They have their place, but may not always be the best thing, especially for some of the little guys.
Yeah,
but I want to start off by talking about AI, because it's become an impossibility for us not to talk about AI.
It's the only thing to talk about
every episode anymore. Right?
Absolutely.
There's only 4 buzzwords now at every single trade show. If you put these 4 buzzwords on your booth, you will have a success. And that's AI.
Yep.
Dubai chocolate.
Yeah.
Bitcoin. And protein. That's it.
Yeah.
Boom.
AI, chocolate, Bitcoin, and protein. We got AI-powered, Bitcoin-enabled, protein-filled point-of-sale register.
that pops open and gives you Dubai chocolate. Yeah.
Dubai chocolate sitting right next to it.
There you go.
Exactly.
And we're going to sell a ton of it.
Exactly.
We hit all the check boxes.
That's right.
I like it.
But I'll tell you, so we have a couple of things going on. So first of all, we became the #1 point-of-sale register for the independent convenience store, liquor store, tobacco shop. And it's an honor, but it's not something I take lightly. We have over 38,000 point-of-sale registers now deployed coast to coast in every single state, and we did that through a lot of great partnerships that we have, a lot of resellers, a lot of amazing partners that have believed in our product and understand that we built the point-of-sale system for the independent convenience store, liquor store, tobacco shop, in order for them to not just compete, but to level the playing field. All the bells and whistles that these brick and mortar chain stores have, we put together with white gloves, and we assist the merchants. So that's why we have so many amazing partners that have been selling our point of sale. And I want to point out, by the way, 38,000 locations or point of sales. I think it translates to like 35,000 locations, because some of them have 2 or 3. Was all done literally onesie twosies. We didn't walk into one boardroom and come out with 200 stores. Like, we literally did hand-to-hand combat on every single one. And we're very proud of that. And we're constantly coming out every 45 days with new innovations, with new features, with new functionality to try to make sure that these merchants, these independents, are able to thrive. I know how difficult it is for retail. And I know because I own some retail stores myself. I own restaurants, and I also own a candy shop. And I know that it's very difficult to compete against these well-funded, large, some of them publicly traded, convenience stores and liquor stores and tobacco shops and all these other, stores that are out there, because they try to have best of class. They have lots of cash in their pocket, and they have teams of people. So we put together for each different item our own team, white glove, put a bow on it, and handed it to these merchants. Loyalty, rewards, inventory, e-commerce, integration with DoorDash and Grubhub, which, by the way, I'm so surprised, shocked pleasantly how well that's doing in these independent convenient liquor stores.
Yeah.
So that's the legacy. That's like our, base. But then we decided to now go into the QSR and the restaurant space and the cafes, with a smaller, more compact unit. We get a lot of inventory from BlueStar. They're a great partner of ours. They give us a lot of products and great customer service. I have to throw a little plug in for BlueStar. I know you know them a little bit.
There you go.
And thank goodness we're growing now with that product as well. That's called our Panther POS. it's different monikers and names that we come up with.
Yeah, right.
Well, we very much appreciate being able to help you with that growth trajectory, and I think we want to try to help out some other VARs in the space that are looking to grow, and I think more importantly, let's shift back to that that you mentioned, that small business, the community, people focused. You talked a lot about it on the last time you were on, the tiendas, the bodegas, the corner shops of the world that are out there serving communities and have these needs as well. So let's talk about the AI connection there. It's exploding in a lot of different industries. A lot of people were talking about it. Dean was at NRF last month and heard a lot of conversation about it there. How are you seeing that when you're out there? Is it landing with SMB retail? Are these small guys talking AI yet? Are they looking for ways to get it into their business, or is it still like a little foreign to them?
So I'm going to talk about two parts of how they're doing out there. So the first part is the AI portion. So the AI portion, National Retail Solutions has integrated it both internally to make better efficiencies and externally to make user-friendly, whether it's customer care, being able to search different products on your POS, or other tools that we've given the merchants to help them be more efficient with their point of sale and with us. Then I'm going to tell you, let's talk about the politics, right? And we're not going to talk politics here because we don't want to tick off some of your audience. But I will tell you that some of these independent convenience stores are really hurting with what's going on with ICE and with the immigration stuff, just because a lot of the shoppers are in these stores and some of the owners run these stores. So that is a reality of a reality, meaning I'm not picking a side and I'm not telling you, my feelings on it. I'm just telling you the reality on the ground, and that does hurt these stores. Obviously, a lot of these store owners, also the brick and mortars are hurt because people don't want to shop in these big public places now, so they will go to the local bodegas or the tiendas or their corner groceries because they feel safe. They can run in, run out. But unfortunately, that is what's going on. Boots on the ground. A little feedback from someone who services this community.
Well,
did I answer both of your questions, or actually one of your questions with a part B?
There you go. Yeah, I mean, getting back to the AI portion of it, I think that as you stated, Elie, a lot of manufacturers, a lot of software development companies are embedding some of the AI capabilities into the software, which then enables the store owners and things of that nature to run their store better, obviously, which the tools that Elie has that you guys already have in your software are definitely there, around tracking to everything to back of house stuff and whatnot, but also enabling those employees that are there, the labor that they do have working there, to be more efficient and be more engaged with customers and stuff like that, as we talk ad nauseum here. But that really makes a difference, I think, in the SMB world, because this is where the community comes together, right? This is absolutely essential to these businesses being able to operate. There is a community involvement, and so when you can free up the labor that is working, or the store owners, or whatever, the ability to interact more with their customers, this is exactly right. So it's no surprise, Elie, that you guys are baking this into your solution, just enabling your users to be that more efficient, right?
Yeah, very, very well said. And can I tell you a cool AI product that we do have?
Yeah.
Which is called the AI product recommendation. So, we take it for granted when we walk into like a convenience store, especially these chain stores, that all these items are on the shelf and they're all priced at a certain number. But how does the independent who might go shopping like at Costco to buy a bunch of products know how to price it or know what to buy? So we have something called the AI product recommendation, where they can go in, and because we have these 38,000 units coast to coast, we have a tremendous amount of information, and every single state has hundreds, if not thousands, of stores. Every single state will tell you, these are the top items that are being sold, and these are the average prices of your neighbors. And this, we don't tell, obviously, names of the neighbors, but we tell them aggregated AI product recommendations. So if I'm looking at the top 300 items, and I see that, number 6 is, a 6-ounce bottle of water, for example. Well, then I better start carrying a 6-ounce bottle of water. And then how much should I charge for it? Oh, the average price around me for that 6 ounces is $1.03. Then I better charge $1.03 or maybe $1.10.
Mm-hmm.
So this is valuable information that's easy to access for these merchants, so they can be smarter about what to carry and how much to charge.
That is a beautiful thing right there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's an amazing practical use case. And because what occurred to me when I was thinking about this is we as average people have already started consuming and adding AI into our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one of those, it's not something that we just assume that most people aren't really on board with. I think even your average person has used an LLM at some point.
Mm-hmm.
They're a Chat GPT, a Gemini, a Cloud, whatever. They understand what it is. They know what it's for. They've already dabbled with it in some way. Maybe not to an extent that like a business would necessarily, but they're familiar with it. And these are the same people that are potentially running these stores. So I could see some of them already in their business trying to figure out like, hey, what can I do? Maybe it's I'm asking ChatGPT to help me create some marketing tools or create something that I can put into a social media post or an email, or maybe write up something for me, or just give me some suggestions. Or to your point, that the idea of figuring out top products that I should be selling. So in my mind, this is if you're someone that's thinking to yourself, I can't go and talk to these little corner shops about AI. They're not going to care about that stuff. You might be surprised. Maybe
right.
They're not looking at it in the same way that a tier 1 store is looking at it. No, but they might still be very much interested in these ideas because they're already doing something with it in their life. And if you're able to show them like this, a clear example of something that they will look at and say, hey, this would benefit me and my business. Let's talk about how we can implement that here. That is a great conversation starter, I think, for something like that.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. When I was thinking about it, what I also liked about what the use case that you just had. So number one, demand forecasting has got to be one of the hardest things for SMB to do. Like what's the demand? How do what should I be forecasting here?
You can't afford to overstock in that kind of environment.
You really can't. So that's brilliant that you're doing that. And I love the pricing part of it too, Elie, because one of the silent killers, I guess, of a retail establishment would be if you overprice something, and then that has a negative impact on your customer who might be price sensitive to that particular thing, that they know they can get it somewhere else for not just a little bit less, because people understand small variations in price. But if you're wildly out of price, that's just a negative impact on and now it's like, oh, you got to build that trust back and stuff like that. So what a brilliant way to help your customers.
More. What if I run into the convenience store and they don't even have the product?
There you go.
Overpriced.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I'm not going back to that place.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So
I'm not
you're really
back.
helping.
Just play roulette whether or not they're going to have my next product. So I'm going to find a new store.
That's right.
And and then on the merchant side, what happens if I have too many items?
Mm-hmm.
Then things expire. Yeah. Things take up shelf space, et cetera, and then you lose money.
Yeah.
Or you sell somebody a product that you didn't realize has expired.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very proper inventory is probably one of the most important parts of running your business properly.
Yep.
Having the right product, the right price, the right amount, and being there for your customers. So that's why that AI product recommendation tool is invaluable.
That's nice.
And easy to use.
Even better. But that's a great selling point.
Because we don't want to scare anybody with AI.
Well, no,
it's
that's
like
it.
I got my.
Yes.
I know it sounds silly, but I used, I was the king of the BlackBerry, and I used to love my BlackBerry. And then when the smartphone came out, everyone's like, "Oh, you got to get this thing," and I was like, "Well, where are the buttons?" I was like, "I can't get that thing. I'm not." And I was shamed into getting an iPhone. Not that I'm upset about it. I'm living by I live by my iPhone. But when you're sitting in a conference meeting and everyone else is pulling out their smartphones and I'm pulling out my BlackBerry and I'm supposed to be the CEO of a technology company,
Yeah,
that's a good point.
But getting back to like the skepticism of AI, because I think that's fair. Like the SMB, I did look up a quick statistic, and maybe the top were 4 things that rank really high of why SMB retailers are skeptical of AI is number 1, autonomous systems that they don't understand, right? And so to you, Elie, if if you're going to incorporate it, great, but you have to make it user friendly too. And you have to make it so that they understand it. So you're already
that's why
checking.
I snuck in there, easy to use.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, as you should, because that's key, obviously, because you understand your market so
number
well.
one, and I didn't even see your screen.
There you go. And number two, black box recommendations they can't override. So I totally get this. Like, they don't want a system that's gonna tell them what should or should not be, and they can't override it. I think that's the important part here. Is they think it's this just machine in the background that and I can't put in my own personal stuff.
Because at the end of the day, they know their customers.
They know their
business
customers
better than anyone else.
Yeah. And they want the ability to at least override it. It can make a recommendation, but I got to be able to override it.
Yeah.
Number 3,
recommendation.
There you go. AI positioned as replacing associates or store managers, right? So again, that just gets to AI enabling. And then the last thing is anything that feels like it erodes the trust with their customers. So I mean, these are like bedrock foundations of why these businesses exist. And AI, you don't want people skeptical of that. So knowing those, kind of walking in the door, or as Elie is doing, just addressing them head on with that's brilliant. Yeah, it's good stuff.
So Elie, let's talk a little bit about the big dogs out there, the big plug and play providers that are like, hey, come online, buy this thing and we will drop everything you need right into your lap, and you plug it in, turn it on, and it's ready to go. We know full well that is not always the best solution. For some folks, maybe it is, but especially on the smaller levels, especially specialty shops or community shops where there's some nuance and some differences about what they sell and how they sell it, that just a run-of-the-mill plug-and-play POS probably isn't going to do. So talk to us about some of the challenges, simple needs, the things that are happening, that you're seeing happen in retailers, that the big stuff that's just a plug-and-play might overlook or underserve, but really can help a VAR like you and an ISV like you go out there and gain some traction by being able to show like, hey, there's something a little bit different that we can provide for you that no plug-and-play POS is going to be able to do for you.
What do they say? What's that famous expression when you try to be something for everybody, you end up being nothing for anybody or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's a great example. Yes. Would I love to have the valuation of some of these huge point of sale register companies? Absolutely. Okay. But with that said, our success came because we have the customization for these specific verticals. The gas stations, the convenience stores, the liquor stores, the tobacco shops, now the cafes and the QSRs. And because of that, we understand their needs and we understand their pain points, and we've developed features, and we're always coming out with new features or integrations that are specifically there to help them. So yes, the point of sale register, I always say there's thousands of great point of sale registers out there, but they're a catch-all. And when you're a catch-all, you're not really focused on helping that specific. You're just focused on being a register. And then, okay, fine, you got a register. You want a tool that's going to help you grow your business. You want a tool that's going to give you product recommendations. You want a tool that's going to be integrated into all of the DoorDash and Grubhub, etc., so that it can help you grow your sales. A loyalty program, a rewards program, an inventory program. How about a merchant app so that I can go and travel to my country, or I could travel to wherever I want in the world, sit on the beach and watch my store and see the inventory levels and place the orders. This is all part of the package of customization for specific communities. And when I'm talking about communities here, it's convenient liquor, tobacco, gas stations, QSRs, cafes. Those are the types of communities that I'm talking about.
No, that's good stuff. I mean, and that's, I think, the world of the reseller is the ability to specialize and craft these solutions, because every store is different. You might be able to fit them under the same category, but I can tell you every store owner feels that they're a little bit different in the way that they merchandise and stuff like that. They put their own special spin on it, and they're going to want a software and a solution that addresses their special needs, right? And so I think that it will always, I don't see a day where that's not going to be the case, where there isn't going to be a need for something like with what Elie provides the marketplace, which is specialized and honed to a particular
audience. And without
audience.
mentioning anyone's specific name, but I saw this morning in the bagel shop that I went for breakfast, one of these big point of sale register companies. And last week, when I got this beautiful haircut that's highlighted with these white lights, I saw in the barbershop the same point of sale register. So you're telling me that same register that's powering the barbershop is also powering the bagel? Like, what is something like? I hope they don't get confused.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm saying, it's like, don't tell me that. So that's the point. Yes.
Yeah.
You try to be something for everybody. You're not anything for anybody.
Yeah.
So that's why National Retail Solutions. And by the way, it also adds additional traction. So what is one of the resellers that are listening to this wonderful podcast thinking? I want to sell and I want to keep that customer.
That's right.
I don't want churn. And what is the best way to keep that customer? By providing that customer what he or she needs to run their business more efficiently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I appreciate it also, you noted the delivery providers, the third-party deliveries, the DoorDashes, Uber Eats, all that kind of stuff, because I think that's something that people don't think about enough outside of the QSR world now. Obviously, that's the big deal in restaurants and QSRs, but you're starting to see, like, when I go on DoorDash, I see plenty of local, retailers. I can get something from a Walgreens or CVS.
I am shocked how successful our DoorDash program has been. By the way, I have to throw a plug to DoorDash because they are so great to work with, and they have done everything they can to try to help these independent convenience stores and liquor shops work with National Retail Solutions. The management should be so proud of their employees, how much they care about these customers that we work with. And by the way, I couldn't believe the numbers that are like, you think about the ordering from these, from these apps when it comes to, like you said, restaurants, right? I just literally ordered 20 minutes before the podcast some pizza to my house because I have some workers working there, and I did it from 23 miles away.
Nice.
But you don't think about it when you're talking about ordering from your local convenience store. Oh,
right.
A soda's a soda, a candy's a candy, a chips are chips, But it's so popular, and it's only getting more popular.
Yeah. Yep. And I do think it's probably something that we don't talk about enough, and we're not approaching retailers enough and explaining like, hey, you could potentially participate in that if you're not already. Because, right now I see it tends to be a lot of like big chain stuff that's in there. But in the same way that some very small restaurants and QSRs I've noticed have popped up there, places that I otherwise never would have even heard of, let alone gone to or thought about ordering from. Now I get the opportunity because I'm seeing them there. It could be the same thing for a local small retailer, convenience store, grocer that could potentially, you could see and buy some products from that maybe you didn't think about or had never even discovered this place before. And it could be a discovery window. To me, that's a great selling point going out to some of these folks and saying, hey, we work very closely with these DoorDashes and other such companies to integrate into POS. Did you know we could do that for you? And you could start selling your products online and having people pick them up and deliver them from here as well.
Nope, it's good stuff.
And they need it, by the way. They need to increase their business.
Exactly.
The walk-in traffic is not the way it used to be.
Yep.
And anyone who's got a teenager, boy or girl, sitting at home understands this comment. I don't think my kids even look at prices. Right. So, and they're not an anomaly. I've taught them, well to be careful on spending and value of money. But when it comes to ordering online, it's just like bing, 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 convenience. I'm sitting home and it gets delivered.
Yeah. People are willing to pay a little more for convenience.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot more teenagers coming up,
Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. But getting back to the customization, and why I think it's so important. I'm looking at some additional services that you have, Elie, as a part of yours. Things like, and comparing that to maybe some larger solutions that aren't really customized to particular industries. Panic alarm buttons, like
I love my panic alarm.
I totally get that because
you just like warm my heart when you mentioned the panic alarm, because I tell you why. We're the only one that has it embedded in the point of sale.
But that's brilliant.
You know why? Because we patented it, by the way.
I love it.
And we did this as a special service for our customer base, for our community.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, because when you Google crime in bodegas or crime in convenience stores, like where do you think people are running? No one's running into Walmart and saying, open up the register.
That's right. That's right.
Like 36 register drawers, 2 security guards, 150 customers. But so they run into places that are convenient.
That's it.
Convenience.
Yeah.
So we patented this panic alarm, and we embedded it into the point of sale register. And when, God forbid, bad guy walks in and says, open the drawer, they push the button, the drawer opens up, and at the same time, a silent alarm goes and calls the police.
That's awesome.
Right? There's all these other silent alarms under the counter. Now they have the buttons on the necklace. Mm-hmm. Someone's putting a gun in your face and you pick this thing up, that gun's going to go off. Okay, that's literally putting someone in harm's way.
Yeah.
That's why our panic alarm is the best.
Yep.
It's embedded. You're following the instructions of the bad person that's asking you to open the drawer, and at the same time, you're calling the police.
Yeah,
man,
but that's understanding the market, right?
Yeah,
What the needs of the customer are, and integrating it. That's why I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I love that.
It's good stuff.
So to that end, then Elie, NRS works with a lot of different retail segments. You've been rattling them off. Convenience stores, bodegas, gas, liquor, tobacco shops, etc. Are there any particular segments of retail that you feel like are kind of a gold mine for, especially for some of these specialized and customizable solutions like yours, where you think maybe there's a real opportunity?
So the answer to your question is we just developed a small team that's focused on now going to take our amazing custom solution and adapt it to the restaurant world, the seating, etc. There's thousands of independent restaurants, and I know I own a few of them. Maybe millions of independent restaurants, and they want an affordable solution that's personalized and customized specifically for the restaurant industry. Mm-hmm. And we're going to take the successes that we learned and some of the challenges that we experienced with our convenient liquor, tobacco, regular point of sale register, and adopt it into this vertical. And we're hopefully soon we'll be the number one in the restaurant world.
There you go.
There you go. There's some low-hanging fruit for you.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's lots of restaurants out there.
There are.
Well, and they all have specialized needs, too. Like there's, even between restaurants, some are going to have different needs than others. Some are going to have different ways of, ordering products, different, levels of customization for your placing your order, different loyalty programs. There's going to be a lot of nuance there, too.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think when I think about this question, I think about, hey, if you're any customers that you are working with that have unique inventory needs, like if there's a unique way that they need to track inventory that might be a little bit different, if there are regulations in place, I think of tobacco stores and liquor stores, where you've got to check IDs, and that should be incorporated in part of the point of sale system. Loyalty programs, going back to the regulation side of things, there was a campaign I helped somebody work on a few years back that was aiming at tobacco stores. And something I was not aware of because I'm not a smoker, so I don't know about this, but that there's the Atria loyalty program or rebate programs.
Atria, Philip Morris tobacco rebate program, which, by the way, we're a massive, massive contributor to that because Altria was having trouble going into these independents. And we hand delivered to them thousands of stores, and we integrated it so there's seamless integration. We did it ourselves. We don't have a third party, so there's no pointing fingers of where. And what it did, by the way, is it goes to our original mission statement, which is level the playing field of some of the big brick and mortars. And I know, when we think about CVS, et cetera, they stopped selling tobacco, but there's still a lot of brick and mortar chain stores that are selling tobacco, and they obviously with their buying power, their pricing or their rebates could be very competitive. So now you get that same exact loyalty program, rewards program, both for the merchant and for the shopper of that store in these independents because of National Retail Solutions.
There you go.
So I'm not a smoker either, by the way.
Yeah.
I eat my vice is obviously eating. I wear my vice.
There you go. So look for some unique opportunities. Look for people that, have a need that no other segment is necessarily going to have. And that gives you an opportunity, I think, to address it with some rather unique point of sale opportunities there too.
I would agree. Yep.
All right. Well, in a moment, Elie's going to talk to us a little bit more about what he's looking for in partnerships and why you should be working with him and with NRS. Before we do that, a quick note of what's happening around BlueStar Nation. BlueStar Academy is the hottest ticket in the channel right now.
It is. Yep.
We were just talking about this earlier.
Sold out.
Since opening up our spring course registration a few weeks ago, we've already had up to capacity a few times, and we've had to up the capacity, and we've had some courses. By the time this episode comes out, we probably have some that are going to be maxed out at this point.
Yep.
So by the time you hear this, they're probably going to be maxed out. But the good news is there's plenty more to come. So first of all, if you're asking yourself, hey, what is the Academy? It's our way of helping turn your rookies into revenue generators faster. Each course is 1.5 days of deep diving into specific technologies or a specific industry, learning how to sell solutions to challenges. We've just been talking a lot about that today, selling solutions, meeting challenges, meeting needs, not just gadgets, and getting the scoop on value adds, partnerships, programs offered by BlueStar and our partners that can help you win more business. Oh, and it's free to attend. You just have to cover travel and a hotel for whoever you're sending. We will take care of the rest for your folks. So check out the link in the show notes, sign up for our mailing list, register yourself or your team for classes because they will fill up fast when they become available. Go to academy.bluestarinc.com or check out the link in the show notes and make sure you're paying attention to what's coming up in the Academy.
Yes.
While you're doing that, take a quick second to check in on us here on YouTube, like our episodes, subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on an audio platform of your choice, make sure you're subscribed. Turn on those automatic downloads so you don't miss an episode when they come out. Leave us a rating and review, too. We'd love to get to hear feedback from you. Let us know what you want to hear about on the show. Elie has already expressed an interest in coming back, more than once. So we can get him back on the show if you have other topics you want us to dig into. There you go.
I want to do a PSA if we can.
Sure.
This is to everyone listening, to the millions of listeners around the world of the BlueStar boys. BlueStar knows how to throw events. I had the most amazing time at your last trade show with conference. So if they can if your listeners can get into this academy that you're talking about, they got to go because you do not cut corners. No. And I'm still recovering from your last event. All right.
Fair enough.
Oh, we like to hear that.
That's
we
a good recommendation.
Plug,
yeah. Yes, we'll take that.
That is the absolute truth.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Well, as always, to keep up with all the things we are doing and with the podcast, follow us on LinkedIn. You can also email us directly anytime, nation@bluestarinc.com. All right, let's wrap things up. A little VAR value here. So yeah, Elie, give the pitch to folks out there. If someone's listening and they're like, man, I could use a good point of sale provider to help me get into some of these smaller locations. What are you looking for in partnerships? Why should a VAR or an ISV that's listening to this episode reach out to you and start a relationship with NRS?
Okay, so great question. So National Retail Solutions was built for the independent businesses, right? Not just convenience stores, to help them with their businesses. So we have point of sale register, which we got into nice and deep. We got credit card processing, which we have an amazing probably one of the fastest growing credit card processing in the country, with the clean rate, with the cash discount rate. We have payroll services, and we have cash advance, and every business can use a cash advance. And there are people listening right now to your podcast that are selling to businesses, right? And they may be selling point of sale registers, or they may be selling telephone service. But with that said, they have the relationships with the businesses, and that's the hardest part. Now I'm saying I want you to call sellnrs.com. Well, it's not a call, it's go online. Sellnrs.com, SELLNRS.com, or go to our regular website, which is nrsplus.com, and get some more information about our products. Why leave money on the table? You have the relationships already with these businesses. You're helping these businesses, help them with some of the National Retail Solutions world-class products. And that's what I'm looking for. I want some of your people that are buying from you, the people that are listening to you, the people that have relationships with you, to look at sellnrs.com or National Retail Solutions, our products, and see, hey, you know what? I may not know anything about cash advance, but I'm going to call and learn about it and see where there's money to be made and how to help these merchants. I may not know anything about credit card processing, selling credit card processing, sure they know a little bit about using credit card processing, but I'm going to see what's involved and how easy it is to make money on nrsplus.com. So that's my pitch.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it. There you go. we're all about the partnerships here. We're
No
all
doubt about it.
Finding people that can help you grow your business and get into places you can't. And it's vice versa. You know, as you're suggesting,
Yeah.
the VARs have those relationships already.
With more different products and features that could be helpful to these independent businesses. I agree. I'm always looking.
All right, well, let's wrap up as always with a little what's on your radars. Where we talk about anything in the world of tech, innovation, science, business, the news, entertainment, just whatever we feel like talking about today. Elie, what's on your radar right now? What are you talking and thinking about?
So we mentioned AI. We are going hot and heavy with AI, both internally and externally. Internally, we're going to be a little more efficient, a lot more efficient with some of the AI features on running our business better. Externally, we talked about the AI product recommendation. There's also other AI features as far as communications, as far as our training academy, which is campnrs.com, where you have a lot of different videos on how to run different products or features or functionality of our point of sale register or of our NRS products.
Nice.
So AI is on the forefront of our business. We do not want to miss the AI boat. And we certainly don't want to miss the Dubai chocolate boat.
That's for sure. You got that right. Yeah.
Definitely not. I need to try some of this stuff. I keep hearing
Dubai
people talking
chocolate,
about it.
yes. Protein, yes.
Yeah, there you go. AI, what was the fourth one?
Dubai chocolate, AI, protein, and Bitcoin. That's
Bitcoin. That was it. Yeah.
Everything NRF. By the way, I'm not joking when I say that I saw an AI coffee stand. I took a picture of it at NRF. And I'm like, AI coffee? How do they do that?
AI's everywhere, bro. Yeah. Yep, it's everywhere.
Exactly. What's on your radar, Dean?
So I've got this new app recommendation. You ever heard of Yuka? Y-U-K-A? Elie, have you heard of this yet? Because
never heard of it.
Okay, well,
I want to see what it.
Look it up. Y-U-K-A. So here's what it is. It's to help shoppers. It is simply a scan app that you walk up to and you scan the barcode of a food that you're thinking about buying, and it gives you no BS. What is this product, good or bad? Like
good for you, health wise,
or health wise and stuff like that. So wouldn't it be nice to walk around I won't name Kroger, sorry. Walk around a grocery store or something like that with like a BS meter on like, is this stuff good for you or stuff like that? And you could just like put it up to it and it'll bullshit. Kind of thing.
Exactly.
Well, that's what this thing does.
You know who I want to give that to? I want to give that to my wife.
There you go.
I won't mention the name of the store, but everything in that store is healthy because of the name of the store. I won't mention which the store is because we're not looking for a lawsuit today.
That's right.
Everything in her head is healthy in that store. And I want to give it to her because, I watch Instagram Reels too. And there are people that go around the store with I don't know if they have this YUKA app, but they go around and they're like, okay, let me read this to you guys.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So you got to try this app because you scan it and it gives it to you in the most user-friendly information. Right, it's really a really wonderful product. Like it'll give you
it's a BS meter.
It's a BS meter, but it'll give you a rating like 6 out of 10. But it'll show you, well, here's what's good about it. Here's what's bad about it. Like a very popular energy bar, right? And it'll say, well, there's a little bit of good in this. It's got high fiber, or whatever. But here's the bad.
Protein.
It's got high fiber and protein. There you go. But it's got a ton of sugar in it, and it's got it's been
known to cause cancer. It's 1 out of 17 eaters.
Anyway, I have used it a couple times. Apparently, it's getting a lot of run out there in the universe. A lot of people are starting to use it. It looks like a good little company that's developed it. It's very simple and one thing that it does. So give it a try.
Yeah, I see they market it also for like beauty and healthcare products.
Beauty and healthcare products, same thing.
Get the scoop on those.
There you go.
Good stuff. All right.
There's your tip of the day. That's all on my radar. What about you?
Because your point, when I'm out there shopping, there are many times that I'm just like, all right, is this healthy? And
I don't know.
To give you an example of one of those big grocery stores that you may or may not have named, like when you're shopping on their site, they'll have like a little food score they give it.
Oh, really?
Like out of 100, and like obviously the closer you are to 100, the more healthy the food's supposed to be.
Got it.
And there's sometimes I look at those and I'm just like,
really?
I mean, sure, like I get that an apple is 100 score, but like there's some other stuff I look at. I was like, I don't know if this is really as healthy as you think it is, or sometimes even I don't know if this is unhealthy as you say it is either. But whatever. So that could be useful. I might have to try that.
Well, and they talk about their independence, right? They're completely independent of any
that's helpful,
manufacturer or any of that you might be a little skeptical. There's maybe some influencing is going on there, especially with the big guys. So anyway, Anyway, what's on your radar?
All right, are either of you guys readers? Do you read a lot?
Emails.
No, not counting emails.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
That one.
I wish I had time to do more reading.
I love to read. I don't have the time to read as much as I would like to either, or I just don't make. It's more that I don't make as much time. I try to do a little bit every night before I go to bed, at least.
Yeah.
And one thing I haven't really come across or discovered yet for myself, at least, is audiobooks, because I know there's a lot of people that are avid readers and want to read more.
Now that I do.
But they will listen to audiobooks
I've listened to
rather
more
than try to
books.
sit down with a physical book. Well,
Yes.
apparently a problem that also I did not realize is an issue is that some folks like to do both. Well, they like to read physically, but then sometimes they like to be able to, like when they're on the go, continue the same book they're physically reading in the audio version.
Got it.
However, the problem there is when you do that, wherever you left off in your audiobook may not be the same as where you left off.
Oh, we got a fix to that?
Reading. Apparently, Spotify is working on a fix to this where they've got a new feature that is called, what was the name of it again? Page match.
That's
so basically,
brilliant.
all you do is take your device, you scan the page that you're on in the physical book.
Oh, okay.
And it will use some, optical character recognition to figure out where you are in the book.
How does Amazon not have this shit?
That's true. Match that up into the actual audiobook and then pick up the audiobook where you left off and go from there.
Brilliant. Oh, that would be really helpful.
That's pretty sweet. That's a pretty handy little tool for those. Again, I never thought of using it doing both, but
I'm not either,
Ellie. That said, my building is literally across the street here in Newark, New Jersey from Audible's headquarters.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to walk over to Audible right now and give them that little tip.
Be like, hey, did you know what Spotify's up to?
Yeah, really.
I'm gonna bump into some of the employees at the Whole Foods downstairs with my Yuka app, and I'm gonna tell them of that little tip about
nice
Spotify.
I love it.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one, though.
All right, so that is what's on our radar this week. Elie Katz from NRS. Thanks you so much for coming back on the show. We appreciated having you back.
It's an honor. I really love it, and I appreciate you having me back. And I really appreciate having me back with the better lighting.
Yes.
So thank you.
Well, next year, keep it so we can have you on again next year.
There you go.
Okay, don't forget. I hope I don't have to wait a whole year. We got to squeeze me in sometime.
All right, fair enough.
All right.
Lots of new stuff going on in National Retail Solutions between them.
There you go.
All right, will do. Well, until next time, AI, Dubai chocolate.
Yes.
Bitcoin and what was
protein.
The other one? Protein. There you go. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know to make it through life. We'll see you folks out there in the nation.